Good morning, y'all. This was another morning of a 2-mile jog, and I just finished, but I want to talk to you real quick. I'm kind of getting runner's knee. If you can't see, I have a thing on here because my knee's been acting up. But I've been noticing that every time I would Google, like, do I stop? Do I just walk? People would say, like, okay, you can keep running, but don't do inclines and limit your work. So what I realized is I was meant to push through the pain. I wasn't meant to stop cold turkey. And I don't know about you guys, but when you're starting to work out, there's a lot of pain that comes up in your body. Even your fingers could end up sore, okay? Like literally. So I just want to encourage you to use the pain, use the achiness, use the, gosh, my legs are sore. Use that to push you forward. When I first started walking, I remember the top of my thighs being sore. And I remember being like, gosh, they're so sore. I remember walking and feeling like my ankles were sore. But that right there, I was also starting at a really higher weight. But that also showed me that that's progress. And I kept reminding myself, Morgan, your thighs are sore right now because they're going to be fit one of these days. They're going to lose some of that cellulite one of these days, right? And I kept telling myself that your ankles are sore because you're putting pressure on your body in a new way, right? And so I want to encourage you that pain is not an indication to stop. Sometimes it's the indication that you're doing something new and you're doing the right thing. Because sometimes we say, oh man, that's a bad pain, let me stop. And I've done that in the past where I had a real bad knee or something and I just stopped cold turkey and I didn't go running anymore. But every time I started to research, it said you can still walk, you can still jog, but lighter paces, no inclines, things like that. So I just want to remind you that even though you may be encountering pain, there are still things you can do. It may be, instead of a mile walk, it might only be a 15-minute walk. And I had told myself, Lord, if the pain continues, then I'll slow down, and instead of running, I'll walk it, So I want to encourage you that during this time, on these 30 days, for you to challenge yourself to use the pain. Use the pain of a situation. And also when you're out here, use that pain to talk to God. When I'm out here, I usually will listen to a sermon in the beginning, and then I will stop it. And that's my quiet time with the Lord. I talk to him about my dreams. He talks to me about things I need to believe more for. Like even this morning, my jog, he was telling me like, hey, you're not believing enough for this next event. You haven't even really put a lot of work in for this next event. You're not believing enough. He's like, it ain't about the work right now. It's about your faith. And so see, when you have your time, this doesn't just have to be a workout time. This can be a spiritual workout time as well. So don't feel like you have to push yourself to the max every single day, right? I know I can run 3 miles, but with this knee pain, I probably should not be running 3 miles every day. So I'm only running 2 miles or a mile, or I may walk a mile. It just depends. So I'm just encouraging you, use the pain, but also not just the physical pain that you're encountering. Use that to push through, but use any situational pain, any life pain. If things have become mundane, if situations have felt a little like, man, I feel like there's no spark to my life anymore, Lord. Whatever that is, use that pain, use that frustration, and use that during your run, your walk with the Lord. Give that over to him because he will begin to pour back into you. And I was telling him like, man, sometimes I feel like I'm just like, in church and I just sitting there and I know I got these gifts and I know I could serve a little more, but I don't feel quite called to serve like that fully, but I feel called to serve completely in the ministry. So and I'm talking to the Lord about this, and it's like, okay, use the frustration, pain of that frustration. Use that as you run out here. Get rid of those things that are bogging you down. And I have to tell you that there's so many of us that as soon as we feel a little bit of pain, we want to stop. Oh man, I feel this pain, I gotta stop. No, sometimes the pain doesn't mean to stop, it means to slow down. It means to readjust, it means to re-strategize, but it doesn't mean to stop. And I feel like that can even tie into business, okay? I have a women's ministry and also have an LLC, and there's been so many times when I started noticing things wasn't working out, pain in the business area, that I would think, do we need to stop this product? Do we need to stop doing this thing? I would automatically think to stop. And oftentimes God would say, no, we need to re-strategize it. And I think that's the same for so many of us. When you're on this journey, this health journey, there are going to be days you have pain. There are going to be days your ankles are hurting, especially if you haven't worked out in a while. There are going to be days your knee is painful. There are going to be days your thighs are sore. You're going to be at work sitting down all slow because you're sore, okay? But I'm trying to encourage you that the pain is necessary for you to get to that next phase. The pain is a marker. It's a point where it's like a check mark point. It makes me think of like, Mario Kart or something, all the gold coins. That's what pain is. So every time you encounter something new, you hit a new gold coin that's saying you're going further. Every time you feel a new pain in your body, you hit a new gold coin, you're going further. Amen. As you're on your health journey, okay? So that's what I want to encourage you as you're on this health journey. Don't overdo it. Don't try to hurt yourself. But when you do encounter that soreness and that pain, like right now, I have this runner's knee going on right now. But when you do encounter that, use that as a checkpoint. And I said, babe, I have a runner's knee. He's like, what is that? And I told him from Googling, when you start encountering just random pain in your knee and you've been running, they call it runner's knee. And I'm like, I'm a runner, like that. To me, that was just made me so happy to just say I have a runner's knee because I'm actually a runner, not I have a bad knee because of my excess weight, right? So that right there just makes me like, well, at least you have a runner's knee because you've been running, girl. Okay. So I just want to encourage somebody today that make sure you use that pain. And I just finished doing a 2-mile jog, and I will say I can usually run this in about 24 minutes. And here, because of the runner's knee, I've been running it in about 27, 28 minutes. So my time is not the best as it has been. And I can tell that I'm a little slower. I can tell that I'm not putting as much hardness and going as hard with this. But that does not mean I'm still not moving forward. And that's the same to you. There are going to be some days you're going to come out working out and eating, you're drinking your smoothies, and you're going to come out fiery hot. And there'll be other days you barely want to drink a smoothie, and you barely moving. You walking the slowest you can ever walk, and that is okay, because the key here is not about how hard you push. It is about showing up through the pain of your life, through the pain of disappointment, through the pain of despair, through the pain of grief, through the pain of your body and achiness, through the pain of your schedule, through the pain, all right? And even when I got up this morning, it's actually really wet here. I don't know if you can see the ground. It was misting this morning when I got up. And I thought, gosh, am I able to run outside? Am I going to run inside, on the treadmill? Like, am I going to walk? What am I going to do? And when I got out here, I said, oh, it's not raining hard. Like, I can do it. It's just a light little drippy mist. Like, it's fine. And in doing that, though, I didn't even put my hoodie on. I never even noticed it was raining until I took it off. I actually thought the rain quit, the misting stopped, but it didn't. It was been doing it the whole time. And so I just want to share that with you, that even when the situation doesn't look ideal, because I said, ooh, Morgan, you can slip and fall. It's wet out here, But even when the situation doesn't look ideal, still show up. Have an alternative. If it's a very rainy day and you're like, man, I can't go outside. If it's like storming and lightning and you can't go do it, go inside the gym. Do it in your house. Stand there in your house and march. Walk around your house. Say, I'm going to keep walking around my house for 15 minutes. I'm going to do my walk in my house. I'm going to stand here and do it right here. Whatever. Always give yourself an alternative, because I will say it's so easy to say, oh, it's raining, I'm just not going to get up and do it. I can say I've said that multiple times in the morning in the past, where I was like, oh, I hear it raining. Oh, I'm not even going to go. But no, I know my alternative is, oh, if it's raining, you're going to go inside the gym. Oh, if it's raining and you're going to get on the bike. Like, I have alternatives. I'm going to walk in here in the house, whatever I have to do to get it done. And so, ladies, I'm just wanting to encourage you today. Get it done. Use the pain. Use the achiness. If your feet are sore right now, if you're tired, if your eyes are heavy, if you're like, man, I'm exhausted, Morgan, my ankles are sore, use the pain, because that is what's going to push you through all of this. And pain is necessary for this journey. Our muscles must be sore because we're breaking them down and building them back up. Our ankles probably going to be a little sore. Our body will be. So use the pain, girl. Use the pain.